Now, often overlooked as wasteland or eyed up for development, wetlands are in fact an essential part of ecosystems all over the world. While a new report by the Global Wetland Outlook has praised countries such as Tunisia and Madagascar for their efforts in safeguarding these areas, it also says that much more needs to be done. Be they lakes, rivers, marshes, or even mangrove swamps, without these often beautiful areas would struggle to find fresh water, be unprotected against flooding, and lose up to 40% of plant and animal biodiversity. But according to the report, rapid urbanization means we've lost around a third of these wetlands globally in the last 50 years. And in Africa, that figure rises to 42%. Yet, less than 20% of these wetlands are protected under the International Convention. I'm joined now by our environment correspondent, Navin Singh Khadka. Navin, why is Africa so much worstly affected by this than other continents?
So there's a combination of issues here. In terms of Africa, number one comes agriculture. So agriculture has taken much of the land, including wetlands. And then you also have the situation of extreme weather events like less rainfall, drought, and then desert approaching. Climate change in a nutshell, right? And then, of course, you have urbanization and then felling trees, deforestation. So you have this combination of, mainly these four things. But then because of agriculture and urbanization, what is also being said is man-made wetlands. Okay, so paddy fields, for instance, or reservoirs, they are increasing, including in Africa. In the whole world, they have doubled. But the problem is man-made wetlands aren't as defensive or aren't as strong, powerful, as natural wetlands.
Is there any will on the continent? Have you noticed any will on the continent to start taking this issue more seriously and protecting these wetlands?
So if you look at this report that you referred to, what it says is policymakers and decision makers, they still undervalue. They are not as serious as they need to be. Whereas these wetlands, we are losing 3 times more wetlands compared to forests. But as you said, Madagascar and Tunisia in Africa, and there are other countries, other cities, 18 of them across the world. So they have recognized them so that the rest of the cities in the world, the rest of the countries, they can take this as an example and follow, and then secure these wetlands that are so vital in terms of ecosystem and also in the fight against these extreme weather events.
I mean, you talk about development and farming, and I know that in certain parts of the continent, erosion is a big problem now because these wetlands have been encroached upon. Just remind us of what the consequences will be if we don't take care of our wetlands.
So in totality, you see, it's a part of the ecosystem. If you lose them, then there will be problems. But then first and foremost, even in this recent meeting that ended yesterday, this week, was that, that you have to have these wetlands in the fight against extreme events, mainly floods. So floods either from extreme rainfall or even from storm surges. We're talking about typhoons, hurricanes, cyclones, and all that. And Nigeria, it's vulnerable. Its coastal cities are vulnerable to those surges. So in the fight against all those, these wetlands, they act as sponge. They soak in those extra water and keep them there. They regulate the water. And that apart, the issue of fresh water and also recreation. And then, of course, biodiversity support. What you have all this Africa, known for its flora and fauna, tourism, wildlife. It's all there. So in a nutshell, you have to have all this if you are to fight in this fight of this climate change and also to carry on with a robust ecosystem.
Okay. Navin Singh Khadka, thank you very much for talking to us here on Focus in Africa. Thank you.